live. Today on the Cristopolis show, I have the honor of interviewing Kristina Menissov, a singer and model. She's had breakout songs such as Taking Over LA, Move Your Body, Crown, and many more. She's also a model in high demand who's graced the cover of magazines such as Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Glamour, Elle, and many more. She's been in advertising campaigns for luxury brands such as Roberto Cavalli, Cartier, Yves Saint Laurent. We're going to bring her in and talk about her music career, her modeling career, what she's currently working on, and more. Let's bring her in. Hi.
Hi.
It's so great to have you on, Kristina.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today here on your platform. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you very much. You have such an amazing story. You've had such an incredible career, and especially from 2017 to now, it's just exploded. There's so much to cover. You know, I want to talk first, I think, about music and your background before you started coming out with all of this new music is that you actually were an opera singer. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, indeed. You're right. I studied in Kazakhstan in Kazakh National Conservatory, named after our great composer, Kurmangazi. And then with a student exchange program, I went to study to Italy, Rome. And in 2015, after I moved to Los Angeles, that was the time when I took a long break that is still keep going from opera. In the beginning, I didn't even know what to do because I just moved here and I was thinking that the only thing that I'll be doing is just having my son. As you guys know, I'm also a mother, and I think that's my main accomplishment. And so I moved here, and I wanted to only focus myself I only wanted to focus myself on my son, on the motherhood. But eventually, you know, it's like your talents is gonna catch up on you, because if you're gonna surpass them, right? If you're not gonna listen to them, they're actually gonna start acting out. So the best thing you could do is actually try to make everything balanced. You cannot just put everything on one side. It's like, you know, like how diamond shines, it only shines if each side of the diamond is perfectly sided. So it's like if you're only going to be like working on one side, it's not going to like you are not going to be able to make it work. So this is how, and also like this is how I ended up going and starting focusing on modeling. And eventually with the time, I started feeling like something's missing. So I started my musical journey, but at this time I wanted more freedom. I wanted more, I wanted to have more opportunity to express myself and have my thoughts, and only not just being, I love classical, don't get me wrong. I love singing opera, but you know, there's so many rules that and there's just like everything, you're not like there's not enough freedom for me. And this is how I felt like at that time. I wanted to express my thoughts, I wanted to express all my feelings, and this is how pop music started being my my comeback.
Right, your way to express yourself.
Yes.
That is awesome. You've had cool songs. You have Move Your Body, which you released with Elle, which is great. Crown, which has the Middle Eastern feeling to it. Taking Over LA. I even went deep into your discography and found Quiero Bailar, Quiero Cantar.
Oh my God, you went all the way.
Amazing. You know, you're such an interesting person that there's so much to cover. But the first thing I think that I want to, you know, as we're talking about your music, is also mention that you speak many languages. Can you share with the audience the different languages you speak? Because that also leads a little bit into your music.
Yes. So I speak, as you guys know, I speak Kazakh language, Salem Dostar. I speak Russian, Всем привет. I speak a little bit of Italian because I was studying in Italy. ciao ragazzi, and of
Woo.
course I speak English.
Very well. You speak English perfectly.
Thank
So, you know,
you.
yeah, you speak English very, very well. And I imagine, you know, in the United States, especially in Los Angeles and California, there's a lot of Latinos, and you speak Italian, so you probably do fairly well with Spanish.
I feel like, yeah, I feel I can understand a little bit of Spanish, and definitely every time I go to Miami, this is a fun random story. Every time I go to Miami, everybody just speaks to me in Spanish, and I'd be like, no, 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 no hablo español, no hablo español, and they're like, you should
Whatever,
be,
they
and
keep talking to you.
they keep talking to me, and then one time I even felt like it was like a lecture, because I sounded like a lecture. He was my Uber driver, and he was like a very passionate person, but it felt like a lecture, and I could catch some um like blitz and pisses, and I was like, it felt like a lecture that I should be proud of my heritage and I should be speaking. I was like, but I would love to, and if I would definitely, but I just don't know it. But yes, it's like it's so like I feel like I should feel like that should be my next goal, to learn Spanish and actually like focus on that.
Well, you've been knocking out so many goals between your music career and your modeling career. The most recent song that you released that's on digital streaming platforms was Move Your Body in 2022 with Nanelle. And the deeper part of your discography, you did some early work in Russian also, right? So
Yes.
you've got Russian songs, you've got English songs. Talk to us about what you're focused on next for music. Do you have some work coming out in 2023? And have you thought about doing things outside of English? Or are you going to focus on English for a while?
So I'm right now working with the producer Andrew Lane, and as you probably like and guys know, like I always talk about him because we have a great professional relationship with him, and he believed in me, and he's very patient with me with my sometimes Russian niet. He shows me something like niet. He's like, oh, do. So, and then we're working with him on my EP, or actually, like, I feel like at this point I have enough songs to do the
Album.
whole album, and two songs are already fully recorded, and I'm going to the studio in 2 weeks to record the third song, and I gave myself a deadline this time because as a creator, I could be like very, very easy with deadlines, and it's like and keep redoing and redoing and re-recording and working and changing, and how about we change the whole second verse even though we have already one settled down. I was just driving on a 405, and I felt like we should do it differently. So
Yeah.
now I'm working on my album, and this is gonna be next, and it's gonna be if you listen to The Crown, it's gonna be like lots of like those like sassy notes, and then Middle Eastern motives. So I'm very excited about that. And the deadline is my birthday, October 23rd.
Wow.
This
That's
is
a
when
good
I want
deadline.
to.
You could do like a big release event.
Yes, 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 yes. And actually, all my friends will have to be there and listen to it. And you're like, this is my gift.
Obligated.
Yeah, everybody recorded and tag and download my album right now.
That's good. That's good. That'll be an amazing event. And for people to know, Andrew Lang, he worked on Taking Over LA, right?
Yes, taking over LA. So with I released Taking Over LA in 2020, and this is the song that I feel like not everybody understood, because I even have to go into the comments and explain to people this is sarcasm.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, because people totally like saw the music video and they were like, "Oh, she is just so fake," and I wish people would like talk about more. I'm like, that was the point.
Yeah, no.
I
It's
was
playing up
actually
the stereotypes of LA.
yes, and I actually wanted, but also it plays up the dream come true in LA, and how you change in LA, and how I feel like it was a little bit of my story, right? How I arrived LAX, and I'm just like all bubbly, and then eventually I'm like, okay, I see how to do that.
Yeah.
Like, right? And I'm like, and I'm just like going with the stereotypes, but then the stuff like, and the whole song is kind of like go in a very sarcastic note. But yeah, I was just like, I had to go like on YouTube and kind of keep going like, no, you guys didn't, like, you guys misunderstood. This is the song. Like, the song is about this. But I guess maybe it means it's good if people actually, it means I showed it very like well and acting wise, so people totally believe that this is it.
100%. And all of your modeling experience and acting comes out in the video. It's a beautiful video. The camera loves you, right? And all of that comes across in the music video. That was done by Andrew Lang. And then you were just sharing with us now that Andrew Lang is going to be working with you for your new album. And for people to be clear, Andrew Lang is the producer that worked with the Backstreet Boys. So he's a big deal. This is a big deal producer that you're working with. I'm really happy for you. This is going to be great for your career.
Thank you. I'm very excited. And yeah, and I'm very excited that this time I have a deadline. So because, you know, I keep pushing my album.
Keep pushing it back.
Every year I was just crossed the date. It went from 2021. I just crossed it and
22.
put the 2. And then this year I put 23. And I was like, okay, this is it. I got to start doing it.
Is it too early to have a name for the project, or does the album have a name?
No, I honestly haven't decided it. I know it's like all the songs like are like they have like a little like very ethnic and Middle Eastern Oriental motives, and then it's but it's about also like learning yourself, like accepting yourself, accepting your beauty, accepting your sexuality, and make sexuality like not slutty, like sexy shouldn't be slutty, right? It's
right.
And sometimes like nowadays people believe that like only one way it could be sexy, kind of just go like very going like very what's the word, like express like very direct about it, and just like, but I feel like you can also go like a roundabout way and it's gonna be even more like even more alluring.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited to hear the new music you have coming. In addition to your music career, you have an incredible modeling career that just took off. You know, for folks who know and other people, you have the cover of Vogue, the cover of Harper's Bazaar, Elle, Glamour, and many, many more magazines. Talk to us about that process. And, you know, were you modeling in Italy? Were you modeling in Europe before you came to California? Did it really take off in California? If you could give us some background story on your modeling career.
Okay, so I have been modeling in Kazakhstan, but I never actually took it seriously, and I didn't even want it because I was in demand because I was very different for Kazakhstan because of my background. My dad, he's from Ethiopia. So I was like, so being mixed, I was in demand, but I really, really wanted to be an opera singer. And I just wanted to prove my maestros, right? Like, oh, I am not just pretty face and I will do it. And I could be like
right. I've got brains. I've got brains.
I got brains. I have the talent, and it's not about that. And you guys are like, I'm not just gonna be doing modeling, and I'm gonna be focused, because every time I would do a shoot, they would see it, they would all like always like throw a little bit like a shade, like, oh, we've seen again with your modeling. So I was like, no, that was just like on my spare time.
Right.
And then eventually when I was in Italy, I didn't even do one shoot in Italy. I didn't do anything because I was just very focused until I wasn't. Until I ended up just being in a relationship and love, and then I was pregnant, so I moved away.
Hey, it's Rome. It's like the land of love, right? You fell in love in Italy. I mean, these things happen.
Yes, so I moved to California, and in 2017, this is when my followers encouraged me right here on Instagram. They kept encouraging me until I finally ended up being signed with an agency. They kept doing it. They kept writing to me that I should, and I should keep going and keep trying. And that's how I believe I went into modeling career. And I started it. I'm signed with a very, like, it's very well known Beverly Hills boutique agency, Aston Models. Hi Aston. And I feel like since then, from the moment I was signed to my first gig, it took 4 months. That's like when you just get signed, it's not just that like that's not it. It's not like you arrived and this is it. I'm signed. That's it. No, it took for another 4 months because I was even debating. I was like, oh my god, I thought it's gonna be like right away. And so after 4 months, I finally like had one gig. It gave me more confidence that I was lacking at the time, and I think it was good because otherwise I think I would have just quit.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's how it's all started. And then there was like fashion weeks, Miami swim weeks. But I feel like for me, the for my modeling career, something that like happened, it was like 2020 during COVID when I was able like to actually breathe down. And then during that time, I stopped doing lots of e-commerce because from 2017 to 2020, I was very focused on just stability. So I was very busy with doing food modeling,
Yeah.
parts modeling, just hands and stuff. So, and which was making me very like in financially stable, but it was like I didn't have time to go to more castings to get like maybe another gig, because if there is a casting or a parts modeling, I would choose, of course, like something just that will have the money right now. And I didn't have an option just to go and keep doing
Right.
castings and keep waiting for something. So in 2020, when um the the industry changed, this is when it started going with from like castings and go see castings in person. It went to self tapes, and I believe self tapes like it was something that taught me a lot, because now I finally started doing those self tapes and I finally started realizing what was I doing wrong, why wasn't I booking as often as I wanted to, because I feel like those little things when you just go there and you just get a little like nervous and then you get tense, and like those micro
Micro
movements change.
expressions, micro confidence, because you've mentioned confidence a lot. And what's really interesting, I think, for a person who's not in the modeling, doesn't know about modeling, you have everything. You've got the beauty, you've got the height, you have a unique look, but there's a confidence component that you have to bring into the interview. And that's something that you've been learning, and it's fascinating to learn about that experience.
Right, exactly. During the self tapes, looking at that, I was starting to realize it's like, oh, I see. That's exactly what was happening. I wouldn't book myself. Look at me. I'm just like being a little awkward, and or because I'm so nervous, just my voice would like get so up high, and I would start talking so fast that it doesn't sound appealing. Because like, for example, like the few simple things that you have to say: hi, I'm Kristina Menissov, I'm 5'9", and I'm with Aston Models. And some of the self tapes I would just be like, hi, I'm Kristina Menissov, and I'm like, oh, that's not my voice, let's do it again. But when you do a go see, you only have 2 takes there, right? So you do it 1 and you do it 2, and you cannot keep wasting everybody's time. So this is it. But with self tapes, I believe this was something that happened and worked out better for me, because I just keep doing it until I would feel confident, and only then I would send it. So sometimes it wouldn't take 2 takes, it would take lots
22,
of takes.
right? But
22
you got the right one.
Until I get the right one. Yes, exactly. And this is how I believe 4 months after I got my first like really big music video with Tyga, Ibiza.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, tell us about that music video, that experience. So that was a casting call.
That was a casting call, and I did the self tape, but then it was actually like the whole shoot was it was during the COVID, right? So we had we actually even I remember in the middle of shoot we had the whole inspection coming just to check if we're following the guidelines rules, right? So it was everybody. There was like the whole other section of people. When we arrived to the set, we would do a COVID test, and all this stuff that is not back, like it was there for a good 2 years, like to do, like you arrive, you do a COVID test, you still go back to your car, you don't get out until you get a COVID test, and after COVID test you go to the house, right? And then everybody has to maintain 6 feet, but then during the shoot, that's the only time when you're allowed to take the mask off, and then in between, which was random too.
It's so
Like, and then after,
yeah.
then after, right after, you put it back, and then you take it off, put it back. So like playing with all that, but uh, I it actually, that it was something that people needed.
Yeah.
And yes, and I remember after that I felt like so many articles were written about me. Who is that model with Tyga? Who is
Wow.
she? And then pictures out there. And so I feel like that's how it started going
That
up. And
that video gave you a lot of traction.
I did. And also right after, I was smart. This is when I released my Taking Over LA song.
Wow.
Right after. So all this with like all the articles about me being in a Tyga video, I was also releasing a song. So I think that all worked out great.
It really did. It's a great song also. And then you've been relentless. Since that song, you've released many more singles as we build up to the 2023 October to, oh, it's 2323.
Yes.
That's what they call like your
10.
golden birthday.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, so October 23rd, 2023, the new album's coming out, and the Tiger video gave you huge momentum, not only for your music, but also for your modeling career.
Yes, and since then I was in a commercial for Vogue Hospital. I was busy just because it kept going, and the momentum kept going. So, and I did so many shoots that like for Elle Arabia, and then after that it was a shoot for Vogue Mexico. And I feel like some of the modeling gigs I was able to book because they were interested in me, not only as a model, but they also wanted to talk about my music.
Yeah.
So it was like a good, actually for me, it was a good mix, like of my careers, like intertwining.
Yeah, it's like this model was not just a pretty face. You had more things happening, a great story, music, conservatory in Italy, a great story of independence from I'm going to Italy to California and making it, right? All of this gives a great narrative to let's put her on the cover.
I feel like that's how it was, right? And then and just I feel like that's the actual definition of American dream, right? And I feel like people need it. People need to see it.
Yeah.
And when I actually just moved here, I remember I was trying to research somebody who looked like me and making it with like with a baby, like starting career after having a baby, and I didn't see anybody. So I kept thinking, well, then maybe I should make it so other women could look and then know that it is possible.
Yeah, your story is 100% an inspiration to anybody, but especially for women in a similar situation that, you know what, think big and work, because you put a lot of work in. You know, you engage with your audience on social media, you're incredibly active, and you have a community around you on social media. And it's amazing to watch and to see your engagement with them, you know? So, and in regards to your modeling career and your music career, if you could give advice to anybody, like based on your experience, what advice would you give an up-and-coming singer or an up-and-coming model?
Okay, so actually, and then I see a few questions about modeling. Like, can you start modeling at 36? This is the advice I would give. You know, right now, this is the time when you can start modeling at any time. You can start modeling as long as you fix something in yourself, like in your head, because that it's not your body or your age that is holding you from modeling. It is those micro movements is when you are doubting yourself and and tensing yourself and and doing like, or maybe because of that your back gets uneven, your face gets uneven, and you get like you have like not your real like tone of the voice. So that's how you're holding yourself, but none of the other stuff that we actually believed. And you know, those like insecurity, I call them like insecurity worms.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they just like sit there and they just talk, like, but they do say the wrong stuff. And then yeah, sometimes we are the ones who are self-sabotaging ourselves, but not because of the age or the way we look or any of that. It's the way we go and show not the best version of ourselves.
That's good. That's so good. For people who are struggling with confidence, the insecurity worms are big, right? What things can they do to work on having a better, healthy self-image, having more confidence? What kind of self-talk or techniques worked for you?
So I did a lot of affirmations, in the because there was a point in my life when I couldn't even look in the mirror, and I would look and I just would just criticize myself, and I would be like, I didn't like what I would see. So that was one of the tools, but I believe lately the ones that are like do work for me, and they kind of like a quick pick me up, is just like one of it is slow down and try to talk lower and slower. And even though it starts sounding funny in your head and it thinks like you're being too slow, it's never too slow. Because you obviously like you go through this moment when you're slowing yourself down, but eventually you start rushing yourself at some point and you slow yourself down. So eventually it gets into balance, because if you don't tell yourself to slow down, you start getting faster and faster. And another one, it's try to like when you get nervous, I think it's even science how our thoughts could affect our body language. Body language could affect our thoughts. It goes the like vice versa. It's the same process. So when we get insecure, what do? We get like very small and very little, and we kind of like get like uncomfortable. So this is what you do. If you catch yourself doing that, you start putting like you start taking as much space as possible. You make sure you take a lot of space, because yes, and eventually, like even though it kind of looks, nobody sees that, you think it looks awkward when like, and then eventually your spine gets taller and you feel a little bit confident, a little bit more. So it's a good pick me up, like at the time when you didn't have like a good work put up, like through like you
Right.
didn't do your homework, but eventually right now this is it, this is the moment, and you only have 3 minutes to change anything. So here it is. We kind of just like slow ourselves down. If we're on the stage or doing a runway, we take as much time as possible and we take as much space as possible, because eventually it's going to be a good balance.
That's such amazing advice. Thank you so much. So you've worked with a lot of great artists. You know, you had the collaboration with Linnell, you had the collaboration with Cancel, you have the collaboration with the producers you've worked with. Is there, you know, people out there now that you'd love to work with? You have an album that you want to release in October. Are there featurings or a producer that it hasn't happened yet, but you want to kind of put that out into the universe? Like, I would love to work with X, Y, Z.
Okay, let me promote one song that I see. Actually, I see my partner, Daria Dali. Hi, Daria. So we're releasing our duet, the song with Daria. And I believe this is the person that I would like to work with. Hi, Daria. Are you still here? Yes. So this is the song. We're also recording it with Andrew Lane. And well, of course, there's like so many names that I want to do like features with, but I feel like for now, I want to make sure that people see it. And so I'm going to name few that I'm so excited they follow me. When they followed, I was screaming, I was screenshotting, I was sending it to everybody. Look who followed me. And I still sometimes do. I'm like, do you see who followed me? Go check it out. So I really want to do a collaboration with Meek Mill. Yes, that would be, I feel like that would be a really good song. I think we can recreate some magic and Diplo.
Oh, that's awesome. I could hear that.
Yes, because I feel like it could be like it would be something that I love, like singing, like breakout song. So like going like in that style, I feel like it could be like a really good song. Like
Yeah. And for the Meek Mill collaboration, I love the way that you sound with hip hop, like in your song Her Story, which is such a personal song. It's such a beautiful song where you're very vulnerable in that song and talking about your life, but it's got that hip hop element that I love, and it goes really good with your singing. That's awesome. In regards to modeling, you've done so much with modeling. You've opened so many doors and broken through so many barriers. Is there a goal in modeling, maybe a magazine or a brand that you would love to work with that hasn't happened yet, but that's also kind of like one of your dreams?
Yes, I really want to. I really want to be on the cover of Vogue, United States, right? On the
Woo!
main cover of Vogue. I feel like let me speak it out loud, and so I think that's something that I really really hope so, and I'm really working. But I feel like also at the point of my life right now when I want to balance it out and focus on my career. So right now I am participating in a competition, opening act, and I just did it in the top 20. I just made it into the top 20, and eventually, like I feel like this is something that I'm super excited about because I didn't even ask anybody to vote for me yet. I've been asking only like some very close people, and then like I shared it on my Facebook because I just want to I didn't really believe like if I could make it, but right now I'm like okay, like I think this is it. This is something that happens, so I have to keep going. So if you guys can go and vote for me, I'm gonna share the link. Opening act, Kristina Menissov, and just I really want to perform on that stage in New York.
So tell us more about that. So it's opening act for a stage in New York. What's the name of the competition?
So yeah, the name of the competition called Opening Act, and some of the big names like Lisa, like Lizzo, Taylor Swift, they have been at a time when they were starting as they were the winners, and
Wow.
they were opening it. Like so, I really want to be like one. Like I think I really need that for my like singing career, just to like feel how it is, and I really hope it's gonna happen. So I'm just like, you guys, I'm sorry in advance. I'll be talking about it a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Please vote for me.
Good. And if people right now watching this want to go and vote for you, is it currently like a link that they can find here on Instagram on your page?
Not yet, but right now, right after our live, I'm just gonna go and put the link in my in my bio.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, you have the unique experience that not that many people get of being on a fashion runway for events like Miami Fashion Week, Los Angeles Fashion Week, but also performing on stages, doing your own music in front of crowds. Both of those things for a lot of people would be difficult, challenging, nerve-wracking. You have to be prepared to do it. Is one harder than the other? Is performing your music in front of a crowd any different from, wearing a beautiful outfit or a swimsuit and walking down a runway in front of cameras and then turning around and coming back? Are they similar, different? Talk to us about what that's like.
I feel like for me, actually, like those are the best moments because this is the time, it's for me like a meditation. This is the time when I'm on the stage, and this is the time when my mind is super clear and I don't think about anything. And you just enjoy the moment. And I feel like the exchange of the energy, even if you're walking or even if you are like, it doesn't matter, or if when, especially when you're performing, because that's not just 15 seconds of your walk, it's like 3 minutes or 6 minutes, it depends on like on each song, and you're just feeling like great during that time, and nothing else outside matters.
Wow, that's good. That's good. You recently performed in a pageant, Miss Universe 2022, which you won. Can you talk to us about the pageant and that experience and what that was like?
Yeah, so last year, August 2022, it was a beautiful moment that I didn't even believe could happen to me, because I had like some not good experience with pageants before, and I just I just went there just to enjoy Miami. But also in the meantime, I feel like I was at the time when I just wanted to see if I could do it and if this could be possible. So I applied, and it's like the process was like, I had to make a video about the country where I'm from and present my country. And I chose the beautiful poem by Abai Kunanbayev, and it was a beautiful video. Actually, gave me lots of good like nostalgia. And eventually I get this email, and they say, well, that's amazing, this was a great job, and we're inviting you to the final round in Miami.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was like, I was kind of, I went there, but in the meantime, I was kind of like keep poking at myself and laughing at myself, like, why are you doing this? This is silly. You shouldn't be doing this. Like, this is like, so I went there, and the whole time I was just like, I was still getting nervous because I was like, I was actually a little upset with myself. I was like, you didn't have to do it to yourself. You didn't have to go through all this like
Right, now
nerves
you were in
again.
this moment, right? The stressful moment. You're like, why am I here? But at the same time, you want to do it, but
Yeah,
it's hard.
and also I'm like, you should be like already feeling good about yourself because you already accomplished so much. So you shouldn't be like trying to prove yourself over and over. Like, why is it like, and then, but eventually I did use those techniques that I talk about, right? Just like, I'll slow myself down. And even if like, if I'm doing the runway on the stage, and if it's a bathing gown, take as much time as possible, even though in your, like in the back of your head, you're like, oh, I feel like I'm too long here. Maybe I should go. Should I not? And I'm like, no, just slow down. And yes, that was a beautiful moment. Like the whole event was just magical. Miss Universe World International. I think I, I'm actually getting sad because now, after all this time, I will be going back and giving my crown back
You got to go give it back.
to next beautiful. I'm sure she's gonna be beautiful. I cannot wait to see her. But yes, I'm a little sad because it's all like last month left.
Yeah. Well, they were very lucky to have you as their 2022. Yeah.
Thank you.
So when I went through your Instagram, there was a really cool moment that must have been so much fun. You were at an event. Nelly was performing. Nelly picks you out of the crowd. I don't think he realized that you were a performer and everything that you are. Maybe he knew, maybe he didn't. Next thing you know, you're on stage with Nelly singing, and frankly, I was shining Nelly, and they play it up. Whoever was controlling the lights and the glitter, they knew what to do because they let it all go, and it was an incredible moment. Talk to us about that moment.
Oh my God, yes, that's actually, he is the person that I really like. After already singing together, we should have a song together.
We already did.
Nelly,
We already did
Nelly,
the song.
remember
Let's
me?
make it official.
Yes, now we should make it official. We had a history on a stage performing together, so we should make a song together. And also, like, yes, everything happened like in a dream. He he looks at me, he points it out. I don't really like understand what's happening. So eventually somebody picks me out from the crowd and just puts me on a stage. And I'm like, what is it happening? So I'm on the stage right now, and I kind of like get like overly excited because I just don't understand what's happening. So he gives me a microphone. He's like, do you know the song? I'm like, sure. And I'm just like standing there and looking, and everybody's screaming, and I'm like, and so everything happened like in a dream. I feel like only, and then and like the song was, oh, I was so happy that I knew the song, of course, because yeah, I mean, he did ask you, do you know the song? But I didn't hear which song or anything. I just said, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm here.
So,
let's do it.
yeah, let's do whatever. So, and yes, and only after I realized, and when I was watching, I was like, oh my God, like it really happened. So some people thought that it was staged, and I had to know the song, but I was like, it was a pure luck. But that was incredible, and the feelings, and just like standing out there and realizing that you're right there on the stage and everybody watching, and you gotta do like the best. And this is, as I said, like some type of like meditation for me, because nothing else mattered at the time, right? I just did my best.
That's awesome. And it was, what a special moment that you guys created. The one thing I'm curious about is that, you know, so many publications like Vogue and Glamour, Elle, they have their magazine versions in other countries also, right? So there will be like an Italian version and a Mexico version. And for these magazines, are the like is the actual photography and it winds up on the cover, are they just shot in LA, or do you have to go on location to those places?
Um, no, some of the like it depends, but most of the times it's like they just they have a vision, and then it's not necessarily like we'll have to like so shoot for the Vogue Mexico happened in LA. So
That's interesting. Yeah. The other thing that I was curious about is that, you know, you were born in Kazakhstan and went to Western Europe, then to California, LA, made it big. In Kazakhstan, do people in your hometown and the broader Kazakhstan know that you know, do they know about you, that you're this model now and singer that's having this magnificent career that's been exploding since 2017? Are you basically like the Kardashians of Kazakhstan? I mean, that's
of course,
what
I
I'm
feel
trying to get to. I don't know how to formulate that, but I imagine, you know, like Kazakhstan's a smaller country with a population of like 16 million, right? And a lot of people in the United States may not even know where it is. I love history, so I know exactly where it is. You're over here just doing gangbusters in Los Angeles, just killing it in everything, music and modeling, branding, Ms. Universe 2022. In Kazakhstan, do people know about this? Are you a celebrity there?
uh I feel like they're answering. Of course we know.
Tell us,
Yes.
what's it saying there?
Yeah.
Of course we
So
know. Okay.
yeah, I feel like they know because sometimes I see the articles talking about me and in Kazakh and like in Kazakh outlets like Elle Kazakhstan or like Tengri News and all those like good articles. And when I do a new achievement, I usually get like press feedback, and then people like and love, and not only love. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You get a little bit of everything, but the media in Kazakhstan does pick it up.
Yes, definitely. Media in Kazakhstan pick it up, and I feel like my family definitely do their take there, because I'm sure they're like, as I feel like sometimes they're like, "Oh, we just saw you on the news," and they're like send me like those like videos. So I'm like, yes.
That's
Um,
awesome. That's really, really cool. We talked about the new album that you're working on for October of this year, 2023. We also talked about a slot for opening act that you're competing for, that you're going to put the link into your Instagram so people could go and vote for you. So I was basically talking about the things that you've told us about the new album that's coming out this year, the opening act that you're going to share on your social media for people to participate and help you get that. Are there other things in 2023 coming up that you want to share with your fans?
um, I think there's so much to share, but I feel like those are the main things right now. My singing career, is the opening act and my album, and this is the goal, and I'm gonna achieve it. And there's like a deadline, so yes, and definitely thank you guys. Like I'm gonna leave the link on my bio, and then please vote for me. It's a free vote once a day. Every 24 hours you can vote for me, and I would really love to be the opening act this year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And for people in regards to modeling, if somebody's watching this and they're like, she would be perfect for our product, we want her at our event. For modeling, what's the right way for people to contact you or management in order to hire you?
So for modeling, please guys, book me with my agency, Aston Models, and then when you go to their website, you can either type Kristina Menissov, or you can just directly write them an email. And my agencies are again on my bio, so you can always like contact them. And I feel like about one thing I wanted to tell you. I'm so happy about our song with Ninel, Move Your Body, right?
That's
And then I've seen
awesome.
their interview with you. So, and I feel like this song is a little bit underrated, because I feel like we had so much love, but then from the perspective, I feel like this is such a beautiful song that more people should be listening to. So while you guys are waiting for my album, please go ahead and check out our last single with Ninelle. She's so talented, and I love like whatever she's doing out there. So I feel like I wanted to tell that because I was like, yes, this is my last song. And then like, yes, we're talking about future, but I think this is a really cool moment. I really guys want, while you're waiting, to check out this song.
That's awesome. Move Your Body with Ninelle is an incredible song that you released. I think it'll make people move their bodies, right? So that's really good. And on that note, also for music, if somebody, you know, is really interested in doing a song with you, how do they start that conversation? How do producers get music to you? What's the right route for that?
I always check my Instagram, so you can just simply DM me. It's open for everybody, even though I get sometimes the stuff that is definitely not even PJ-13. It's like it's like rated, but I still check it out. Like I still check every direct message. So just feel free to direct message me or Andrew Lane, or just leave a comment if I'm not answering. But yeah, I always see everything.
That's awesome. Kristina, it's been a pleasure interviewing you. Your career is amazing. Your story is an inspiration for so many people, but especially for women coming from another country and just making the American dream happen. And I think that we're not done hearing about you. I think there's more to come, and I'm really eager to hear your album coming in October and all the things you have coming up next.
Thank you so much, and maybe we can do another live after my album's out, just to talk about it. Yes, thank you so much for having me here today and taking your time. And I really love your show, and I'm like watching it, like, and I'm catching up on some of the stuff that I haven't seen yet. So thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Kristina. We'll do it again soon, okay?
Okay. Bye. Bye, Daria. Thank you so much.